Hi guys, it's me, Ali. For the sake of transparency, I do want to say I haven't been well lately. I wanted to talk a bit about why because I think it is important and I think that people can benefit from what I'm about to say and the message that I sort of got from Spirit about it. So, for me, I have been finding it very difficult being a highly feeling person in a world that seems to be failing people, if that makes sense. We're seeing it every day, and we are being conditioned to embrace a world that maybe we are not ready for, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and technologically. I do feel that there is a very different energy in the air than there used to be. I feel very highly overstimulated when I go outside now. I go outside, obviously, a few days a week to do shopping and but other than that, I am a homebody, I don't really venture out much, because I find sometimes other people, I find them very invasive of my energy field, and I'm the type of empath where when I feel something, I really feel it, okay? And I have been burying my head in the sand a little bit and been like, well, what's the use? And allowing negative thoughts to come in. I'm not going to lie. It's been difficult. And on one of these days where I was quite, upset and quite distressed, as it were, with the state of the world and how people treat each other, Spirit told me one thing and it made me think a lot. They said, basically, things are going to get really ugly before they get better in the world. The world will always have its own issue as like a wider world. But what I can be in control of is how I perceive things and how I handle things. And the only job I have is to remind people that there is magic in this life. There is things we can do. I think it's really easy to say, oh, well, let's just give up. Let's just not fight for anything. And, I think some people, honestly, with the way some people have to live, it doesn't surprise me that people are at that point. But we're also being conditioned to be that way as well through the media we consume, through, certain things that people prioritize. I think the world would be a much better place if less people were mean and nasty and didn't make rash judgments and assumptions about other people. Unfortunately, we are taught that this is the wider human nature, and there is no room for nuance and things like that, right? People get very entrenched into what they believe is the correct course. And so, for those of us who feel deeply and are more sensitive and don't want people to be harmed, it feels like every day is a bit of a struggle, right? It's hard not to internalize other people's struggles, and that's why, obviously I'm working on boundaries and things like that, but it's very difficult sometimes, I feel, to split between tending for myself and tending to others. So one of the things that really helps me is remembering that this is just one bad day out of so many days that I will have. If I'm blessed enough to live this long, the bad days that I have where I'm overstimulated, that is just one bad day that I will have, and it doesn't define the rest of my experience here. And just because things seem to be going backwards doesn't mean they will always be that way. It doesn't mean that, we should just, give up and think, well, we're on a decline, because what good will that get us as a society, as a collective humanity? It won't do anything. I've truly embraced, or tried to embrace, how I used to be. Like, I used to have kind of like a whimsy in life, I guess. For me, I always would think, oh, well, tomorrow will be a better day, Little Ally, she was very about that, being an optimist and thinking, well, this is like my movie, not in a narcissistic way, but like, this is the point where the hero would give up, and then they don't give up and they keep on going, okay? So I think for a lot of people, it's about remembering that energy and treating life in a way like that's not narcissistic or materialistic, obviously, like it's your movie, and not giving up, and making sure that, you know that there is light out there somewhere, even in the midst of so much darkness. Hopefully this message isn't all over the place, but I just really feel like it has been hard for, as I said, a lot of us who operate on a higher, sensitivity to other people. And sometimes I feel like, oh, is there something wrong with me? Like, I constantly feel like I'm an alien that is just trying to navigate and not understanding why people do the things they do. But I think if I go back from a more wider perspective, like a more open perspective, and I look at it, I realize, oh, the world isn't so bad. It's my mind that needs to shift. And I know that's easier said than done when, we live in a physical world and a dense physical society, right? But I think the more we go inward and remember what we used to love, and remember the things that brought us joy, and we focus on those things, and also focusing on joy in the present as well is super important, the more I feel like we will get through these challenging times, because I believe that, there may be forces in the world that want us to give up and have that nihilistic worldview, but I think so long as we power on and keep on trucking, everything is going to be okay, and we will get through and, persevere. I think I probably made this more for myself. This is a self-note as well as it is a collective message, okay? But there's plenty of tools that we can use, even manifestation, knowing that we can manifest our reality. We just have to get out of our own way first, and I keep sliding back and forth on the scale. Sometimes I really want to manifest, and sometimes I feel like I can't do it, even though I know I can. But it's important to just be mindful of where we're at moment to moment, and just know that it's temporary and we won't feel like this forever, okay? So hopefully that helps. And if you're also a highly sensitive person like myself, please share in the comments what your experience is, and what techniques do you use to stay grounded when you absorb a lot of people's energy and things like that, because I know a lot of us could use the advice. I feel, in a way, a little bit unbalanced at the moment, and I think it's okay. It's okay to admit that, and, it's okay to be, lost or questioning or what have you. So, hopefully this helped perk you guys up a little bit. This is just a quick little little channel message or experience. So, hopefully I'll see you guys next time. And don't forget to try to, conjure up the magic in your everyday life, because I know that it's there. There are things that are unexplainable, and I know that, the point is to just not give up no matter what, and just keep looking for that magic every day. Okay, so I hope that helped you guys. I'll speak to you next time. Bye.